Oh, hit the button. Yeah, what the fuck happening in the YouTube atheist community and debate wore me the fuck out. Anyway, yeah, kind of a long night last night, and kept moving, which was good, but it does just kind of wear you down. The stuff you have to argue is just so amazingly stupid that just does tear you down. But anyway, it was okay, productive-ish, sort of, kind of, maybe, I don't know. Whatever. Like I said, it moved along. I don't know what else to say. That's my standard now, is that it moved along. So it sort of focused on this whole, the nature of belief. What we're really arguing with when we're arguing with somebody's beliefs. Are we arguing with how they've logically seen the world, logical deduction? Or are we really arguing with some sort of program, some sort of perception, that was probably brainwashed into them by parents or culture? Some sort of notions that are just kind of built into the way people live. It just occurred to me, my brain said the word cartoon, and it's kind of funny that cartoons were always very secular. They didn't play with the God idea much. They'd have a little angel poof around, but they just make fun of it. It wasn't like meant as a reality. And but yeah, all the other elements of culture are just so glued to this reverence for some presumption of the existence of gods and all this kind of crap. And I've said it before, but the whole way the media hoard over the Pope, the new Pope, instead of describing what it is, which is a bunch of silly fabulists, have elected a new cartoon character, to be their fearless leader. It's just laughable. But the fact is that those subtle messages are sent to children, and they learn to perceive the world as more magical than the starkness of the world without magic. I mean, it's more fun, I guess, to live in the magical Jedi world than the world where people don't have magical powers and they can't call upon special forces and they can't transmogrify themselves into their spirit animal or some kind of other bullshit. And that's what it's just a competition for the aesthetics rather than the substance of philosophy. Because nobody really has any people aren't taught to have any kind of respect for language and the importance of words and their meaning. It's all just flown or fluffed around and talked about in silly ways, and all the duplicities and hypocrisies, of the meaningful death versus the unmeaningful death and all that crap, which I've also talked about, that are just evidence of this magical thinking, which gets back to what's his face's video. Yeah, what's his face? So anyway, it's but that's the real enemy, is that you're not really fighting. You're not. Logical persuasion is going to be the hard way to get there, because these people aren't really interested in the truth. They're interested in a replacement for the candy they're addicted to, kind of thing. They need to be weaned off of this, pieces at a time, I suppose. But it's more of a psychological problem than a philosophical problem. And I suppose that's certainly what I will fail. I will fail to, provide people psychological therapy to overcome their attachment to these magical notions of reality. So I don't got time for that crap. And I guess I still think that if you present the logical argument in the right way, that maybe there's some hope that you can create this perfect argument that'll work on any brain, a perfect straightforward program, an operating system. You can just lay it out so clear that people just wouldn't be able to reject it. It would fall into all the right holes inside their brain and click, and you just wouldn't be able to get out of it. Once you started laying this argument down, it just wouldn't be something their brain it could pervert and distort and manipulate, to serve their emotional need, to maintain a fantasy world, a magical world to live in. So anyway, that was sort of the second half theme of the evening, sort of just created by the sub-DNA guy who, is defending or rationalizing his conversion. Another late in life convert, sort of like warbles on a lot. I have a special experience. I interpret it in a perverse and bizarre manner, and now use it as justification for a silly philosophical belief. So I have toads. I was just 3 toads. I didn't video any of them, but distracting little hopping beasts. Anyway, so I guess it's just this overview of what is required in terms of making the argument. I guess it doesn't change much, but it just changes in the sense that I realize more that there is this whole dependency element, and that it's not about the argument. It's about getting rid of the garbage in part, the psychology that doesn't want to live in reality, because it's not going to be pleasant. And that's the other catch here, is that the truth isn't pretty, and so nobody wants to date it. Nobody wants to go out with the truth, because she's a bitch and she's ugly and smelly and skanky, and that's a problem. You're selling responsibility rather than fun, and nobody wants to buy that. Nobody wants to, especially do a little bit of thinking work for something that's not going to get them somewhere personally. And people are just so they're just weak-minded. There's so many weak minds in the world. They know so little, and they talk so much, which is really bad. So that's that. Other stuff. Let's see, was there anything else of real good substance? I can't remember. It was a long night. So anyway, nothing's changed in terms of my mission statement and what I'm attempting to accomplish. I think my arguments are getting more concise and straighter forward, and I think that's good. And so I still see some productive change in what I'm producing, and so I guess as long as that's taking place, I don't have too much to complain about at the moment. And I just need to do it more and do it better. And that's the road. It needs traveling. So at the end of the evening, me and Piro did start discussing the whole technology aspect of this and the challenges of providing a medium and enhancing the medium, doing all that kind of crap. And that's all useful in some respects, trying to get this view of what people need. And it was kind of ironic. Conference Report just posted a video requesting somebody development of a tool that changes the sidebar of recommended videos on videos. And I already did that. I didn't intend for it to absolutely remove all the suggested videos, but it just happened to be a consequence of moving the comments, because YouTube's very specific about where it places things, and so when you put comments with something else, it won't post the something else kind of a thing. But anyway, I don't want to get into those. I don't want to get to the technical issue of it, but it's just kind of, it's part of the miscommunication or inability to properly communicate. That I basically have that tool made, and it has the extra advantage of showing other comments on other videos. So it seems a feature he would be perfectly pleased with, and yet he apparently doesn't even know. So that's kind of interesting. It reveals the fact that we're doing a horrible job of doing even the stuff that even the tools we have, we're not using very well, and we need to take it to some better level in terms of accountability to each other, being able to encourage people. How to put this? There has to be some common ground, and it's too easy for us to trespass on each other's space, so to speak. And people don't intend trespass, let's say. They don't see the trespass in their language or words, and they certainly see other people's trespasses, which is a little bit bizarre. I've sort of made this point before, but it's pervasive, where people will use witticisms, snarkyisms, and then outright insults to people's intelligence, and then pretend they haven't insulted somebody. And then when the other person decides to just throw a rock, instead of going to the trouble of painting vulgar pictures on a tree or something, they just pick up a rock and throw it at your head and say fuck you. They somehow don't understand, like they're well, what, I only drew a picture of your mother's big fat ass. What are you upset about? And it's like, that's just sort of, how does that happen? That people can be this clueless in terms of understanding how wars begin. I do fall into it. I'm still reactive. I'll still defend my space, what I consider my territory, my integrity. I'll still defend it pretty aggressively, and maybe I just gotta let that go. But there's a point where it's just, why should I accept that as part of payment to be on YouTube? And I'm going to accept unqualified insults. If you're going to insult me, mean it. All right, defend it. Go all the way with it. Present your evidence. Try to crucify me properly. But I'm not going to let you lazily, just catapult shit on my head and say, okay. Yeah, fuck you. I'm not doing that. So you either do it right and you do it all the way, or don't fuck with it. Don't play that card. But that's my standard of war. That's my standard of how you fight properly. And, these people's mentality is more like, I'll go key his car or something. So it's kind of, we don't have the same war ethics. So it's hard to pull this thing off, where we can have this contentiousness and still maintain, enough of a arena. Ow! Fucking son of a bitch. Oh. My stroke leg's been a little lazy lately. I've been kicking rocks lately. Oh, fuck. See, there's rocks in this path. I just kicked the fuck out of one. Oh, man. shit. I think it left a mark. Anyway, I don't think I'm looking into the sun, which isn't good either. I'm way late. I mean, yeah. This is... Well, whatever. I mean, you know... Ow. Fuck, now I'm real... This is, you know... yeah, end of the video. Because I'm horribly distracted by my broken fucking toes. I'm going to be limping on it. And now it's going to make it even more likely that I'll kick a rock. So that's the irony of it. So it's sort of like the warfare thing. It just gets out of hand. You kick a rock, it makes you kick more rocks. And then that damage makes you kick more rocks. And then you're in such a crappy mood that you end up kicking more rocks because you're not paying attention. You know, so it just adds to more rock kicking and more rock kicking. And your toes get, you know, funkier and funkier. And you get more and more irritable. And that's sort of how YouTube's working. It's just a lot of impediments to, you know, a smooth, pleasant, whatever, walk to someplace like resolution. I guess that's part of the problem is the format just isn't built to create resolution. It's just kind of built to create redundancy. You know, just go halfway to the store, and you just keep going halfway to the store, and nobody ever gets to the store, and that becomes frustrating. You're saying, what am I doing all this going to the store thing when I never get to the fucking store? You know, it's like if you played video games or you played anything and you never finished the game. I mean, if you just perpetually never finished anything, it would sort of lose its edge. You sort of need the accomplishment of you know, investing the energy in getting the byproduct, the finished product. You know, sort of important. Oh, anyway, so I guess that's good enough. I'll call it a complete video. Oh, I'll go soak my toe in the pool. Yeah. Until next time. Such, so forth and whatnot. And that is that. Yeah.